finals. And there are some questions which have part points, that is like with two parts or two or more parts. In that questions, there the marks will be divided according to the question. And there are absolutely no negative markings in the quiz, so feel free to take a guess for each question. There are no bad guesses in a quiz. And we have star mark question, that is the multiples of 5, that is 5, 10, 15 and 25 are star mark questions. And these will be the number of star mark questions that you got correct will be considered in case of a tie. And if the tie persists, we will go on for a sudden death. And please make sure your cameras are turned on throughout the quiz, and try to make this a fair quiz. So, any doubts for anyone? You're supposed to fill the Google form that is being shared. Shruti, please keep sharing the Google form like for the first 5 minutes or something if people join late. Any other doubts?
Please, we'll be keeping note. Please keep your cameras on throughout the prelims and finals. And please keep yourself muted.
Yeah, if we're good to go, two of our freshers will be hosting the quiz, Yash and Tejaswini. So, Yash, I guess you can take over and start with the quiz.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, Yash. So, we are moving on to the first question. Good luck, everyone.
So the first question. Said to be inspired from California-based now defunction Telltale Games, this company introduced a new category on their platform for the users to everything and to make them feel as if they are the ones in control. This company has been harnessing the power of personalization since it started. Which company and what feature did they come up with to keep the audience engaged?
The words in bold are major hints for you.
Power of personalization and Telltale.
Yes.
Should I repeat?
Yash, can you speak a little louder if possible?
Yeah. Okay. Said to be I can read.
Yeah, just read it once more and then we'll move on.
Said to be inspired from California-based now defunction Telltale Games, this company introduced a new category on their platform for the users to try everything and to make them feel as if they are the ones in control. This company has been harnessing the power of personalization since then. Which company and what feature they come up with to keep the users engaged? So you have to tell the name of the company and the feature.
I think we can move on to the second question now.
Yeah. Sushruta, in his book Sushruta Samhita, gave many path-breaking techniques and approaches towards medicine, plastic surgery being one of them. Some of these techniques were introduced in the West, from the Arabs to the Europeans. That being said, the ancient Romans and even the Greeks had some knowledge of this field. However, its widespread application, popularity, and progress was not observed until a major event in the first half of 20th century that affected the entire world, and it was utilized on a section of the population so that they could return to normal. Why did it gain popularity?
Again, the bolded parts and the timeline is something that would lead you to the answer in this place. So think along those lines.
Do you need something specific for this question?
You can tell the event.
Yeah, somewhat. We need we're looking for a keyboard. Also, some of you don't have their cameras turned on. Please make sure you do have them turned on immediately.
Yeah, we can go to the third question.
Yeah.
Figure skaters shown in the picture created a fashion moment earlier this year. This particular theme embodied a certain personality known for their commitment to being bold. These costumes had the right energy for the performance, just like their inspiration, known for their unique energy that led them to be being of one of the best-selling artists of all time. So you have to identify the artist and who is the inspiration of these costumes.
There is a bigger image also,
Yeah.
and the image sort of helps in the for this question. So, yeah. I'll go back to the text once again.
It is one artist or a group of artists? Like in second paragraph, you have written artists, and in the question you have written identify the artist.
Yeah, that's a typo from our side. It's one artist which inspired these costumes.
One of
We
the
just want.
So is he from a group, or he is a particularly individual in performance also?
I don't think we can give you extra hints on the question. So we're looking for the name of one particular artist in the answer. So
Yeah, I think we can
yeah.
go to the next one.
Question number 4. Invented in the late 1930s, became immensely popular when militaries of different nations used it for its storage function. It was given its modern day name by the British, who copied its design from the original creators to replace their own inefficient, flimsy product. This object also shares its name with a fictional character known for pulling irrational pranks on his friendly rival. Fill in the blanks.
Are the blanks indicative?
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, I think
We have moved.
this is an easy question. We're moving on to question number 5.
Yeah, question number 5. Uh, Identify this group of people and what is the reason for these tattoos? What's
I'll
the
show you
figure
the
image?
Also, ignore the text on top. That is just to avoid any usage of unfair means. And this is a part pointed, so 5 point for the group of people and 5 for the other 5 for the reason.
Doesn't the group of people become obvious from the larger image?
Or you can just answer whatever you see in the image. I think we can move on to the next question.
Yeah, moving on.
Question number 6. Conan O'Brien meets a friend in a podcast featuring the eponymous talk show host and his assistant. In a recent episode, Conan narrates the instance when his assistant and her husband asked him to play a certain role for their now bigger family. Before asking him if he was up for the set responsibility, the couple played a piece of music in the background as a reference to the question they were about to ask. Identify the piece of music. The couple played a piece of music in the background as a reference to the question they were about to ask.
Just need the piece of music on this question. Staying on this for another 5 seconds and we'll move on to the next.
Yeah, we can go.
Question number 7. The latest US submarines use fiber optic mast for their periscopes and hence can no longer use the typical mechanically hydraulically operated periscope controls. To combat the problem at first, the US Navy used helicopter-type control sticks as replacements, but the sailors underwater found them really rigid. As a result, the Navy was forced to come up with an out-of-the-box solution which is more intuitive. So what was the solution?
Can I plot hints?
Yeah, we're not giving any other hints.
Okay.
How specific answer do you need for this?
We need a proper noun. We are looking for a specific. Moving on. Question number 8.
Question number 8. This is Mikula Sosa. She was named one of Time's 25 most influential people on the internet a few years ago. She was hired in a specific campaign to challenge conventional norms and it explored the blurred lines between reality and imagination. This blurred line was read by many as queerbaiting, whereas some called her a money-making vessel. What is special about her? Bigger image.
Yeah, we have a bigger image on the next slide.
You can think along the bolded parts. They are a direct hint to the answer. And we'll be moving on to the next question.
Question number 9. This haircut, characteristic of Dash, started around 10th century. The hot and humid climate was irritating for soldiers who had to fight with a very heavy armor, which exhausted the soldiers. As a solution to this problem, soldiers started shaving the top of their heads to stay cool and kept the hair in the back of their heads to keep the helmet from falling off easily. In short, it was to keep their body temperature from rising too much. This haircut eventually became the identity of Dash.
Basically, we need to fill in the blank.
Yeah.
Both the blanks are the same word.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we can move on, right? Question number 10. This is a star question.
Shown here is a journalist from the late 20th century who metamorphically and literally is seen eating his own words, who wrote the following words about a certain event happening back then. If their pride is not important enough to spur them to wholehearted effort this time, they might as well give way to other would-be participants. His criticism inspired the people involved to prove him wrong, which was also recreated late last year on the big screen. So what was the incident? Yeah.
This is the bigger image.
Can you go back to the text, please? Will the broad incident work, or do you want a specific thing?
I think a broad line would work.
I mean, like a broad would work, right? Just the name would work.
The name of the famous event, right?
The name of the famous?
I was also asking.
Acha,
We
okay.
need the
The famous-
incident. We need the incident. It would be better if you could tell us how this journalist was involved in that
And
incident.
we don't need the name of the journalist.
You need the event though, right? So if I just give you the event, will it work? Or do you want how the person was involved?
Yeah, we would need how this person.
Okay, all right.
Okay, that was the 10th question. I will take over from now. Can we show the 11th question?
Yeah. Moving on.
After the tragic Apollo 1 incident, NASA brought in a popular household comic characters of the 1960s to promote greater flight safety awareness. The dress rehearsal mission for the moon landing, which snooped around the moon, also had its lunar module and command module fittingly named after the character and his companion. You have to name the characters. I think that should be good.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Okay. The trailer for the new Jordan Peele film came out earlier this year. Something that we know about the film is that some horror stuff happens to the only black-owned Hollywood horse ranch. Now, in the trailer, one of the characters claimed that their ancestors were the person involved in a certain project that revolutionized our lives. What pioneering work were they talking about here? Move on to the 13th question. You have to fill out the blank portion here. So you can see a map, and there are two blanks in the right, leftmost corner and in the upper right corner. So you have to fill in the blanks. Yes, here's the bigger image.
Actually, we just need the blank on the right.
Okay, yeah.
Just blanked out because it was a giveaway.
Okay.
Just need the blank on the right.
Hi, I had a question. Is the red part something the QM has blocked out, or is it part of the image?
Sorry, the red
It's
part is part of the image.
part of the image. Yeah.
Broader explanation will work, right?
You just
Yes,
need what it
depends on-
represents. Yeah.
It's a very. If you have the explanation, basically you will get the word we are looking for. If we if you have that keyword in your explanation, you will get the marks.
We'll move on to the 14th question now. Hasselblad cameras were used by an individual around 6 decades ago for an important trip. The person liked the camera so much that they recommended it to their agency for upcoming trips. The agency bought a few cameras and removed some weight from them because they had to keep the equipment light. Happy with the result, what followed was a long and close relationship between the agency and Hasselblad. For what purpose were the cameras used and what agency is this? That should be good enough. Let's move to 15. This is a star mark question. Chronic use of steroids to fight various diseases since birth damaged the spine of this famous person so much that so that he could many times not even bend to tie his shoes. Plagued with arthritis and back pain, he wore a rigid back brace, which turned out to be fatal for him as it prevented him from potentially saving his life. You have to say how it got fatal and who this person is. Okay, let's move on. The restrictions brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic prevented many families from being with their loved ones, especially in moments of joy such as the birth of a new member. In Japan, parents came up with an ingenious solution to this using a commodity essential to more than half of the world's population. These proxies were sent to relatives who could not cuddle the newborns. You have to identify the item. Let's move on. In front of a building in a German town documents a tragic story of the loss of 130 resident children of the town. One of the theories about these missing children are that they died in the Black Plague, whereas another theory connects this incident to the dancing mania or dancing plague. Interestingly enough, this town uses this tragic story as a means of revenue through tourism, as people come to visit the streets which they have much heard about. You have to tell the town and the story.
Excuse me, in the Google form for the question number 17, the correspondingly we have been given the variables x and y. So what are x and y? Is x the town and y the story?
We need the town story, but you don't need to mark it as X and Y. So we'll change it.
Will we get part point for just the story?
Yeah, you will get part points for if you mention the story correct.
But if you can move the slide. Founded in 2013, this bakery went viral as its founders initially sold cookies from a Tata Nano owned by the founder. Since then, it has gained a cult following, much like the disbanded trio after whom they named themselves. Their name is a spin on the name of an extremely popular genre-defining trio. Their logo is also inspired from the same. You have to identify the bakery and the band.
The picture is the logo of the bakery, but we have blanked out the just the name. So I think we can
Yeah, we can move on.
to the question.
Based on Requiem, the name of this pest control agency, Blank, is a pun on a different agency which focuses on a much feared or beloved entity. Also, ironically, these pests feature in a widely known idiom which refers to exploiting something for short-term gains. You have to fill in the blanks. That's good enough. We can move on.
So you need the fictional agency or you need the this pest agency's name?
We need the name of this pest agency.
Right.
A 2019 research paper seeks to study how people perceive collaborations and its effect on the quality of the product. In the study, customers were offered sneakers and cookies which had been created by different number of collaborators. The study found out that there is a certain sweet point within which customers prefer collaboration, but beyond which it becomes counterproductive. What question or phrase was the study trying to answer?
Also, please note we have forgotten to mention this is a star mark question. 20th question is a star mark question. This is the fourth star mark question. Question number 5, 10, 15, and 20 are star questions.
Since this was the last question, we'll have a quick rerun, after which the form will be open for 30 seconds. So I think we can start from 1 again.
We'll be starting from the first question for the rerun. And make sure that you submit immediately after the rerun. We won't be having much time after the rerun. Forms will be open for 30 seconds max. So, Yash, I think you can start with the just keep it fast. Yash, can you hear me?
Said to be inspired from California-based now defunction Telltale Games, this company introduced a new category on their platform for the users to try everything and to make them feel as if they are the ones in control. This company has been harnessing the power of personalization since then. Which company and what features did they come up with to keep the users engaged? Move on to the second question.
Second
Uh,
question.
Sushruta, in his book Sushruta Samhita, gave many path-breaking techniques and approaches towards medicine, plastic surgery being one of them. Some of these techniques were introduced in the West from the Arabs to the Europeans. That being said, the ancient Romans, and even the Greeks had some knowledge of this field. However, its widespread application, popularity, and progress was not observed until a major event in the first half of 20th century that affected the entire world, and it was utilized on a section of the population so that they could return to the normal. Why did it gain popularity? The event, no, the technique, why did it gain popularity? Move on to the third question. These figure skaters shown in the picture created a fashion movement earlier this year. This particular theme embodied a certain personality known for their commitment to being bold. These costumes had the right energy for the performance, just like their inspiration, known for their unique energy that led them to being one of the best-selling artists of all time. Identify the artist who is the inspiration for these costumes. Yeah. Over to the fourth question. The fourth question, invented in the late 1930s, Dash became immensely popular when militaries of different nations used it for its storage function. It was given its modern day name by the British, who copied its design from their original creators to replace their own inefficient flimsy product. This object also shares its name with a fictional character known for pulling irrational pranks on his friendly rival. So you have to fill the blank. Move on to the fifth question.
Yes, you don't have to read the entire thing. You can just read the keywords or the last line and then quickly go ahead. Bharat, go move on to the fifth question.
To identify this group of people, what is the reason for these tattoos? Sixth question. So here you have to tell the piece of music. Yeah. Question 7. You have to tell what was the out-of-box solution used by US submarines. Yeah. Question number 8. You have to tell the name special about special about this character. Question number 9. You have to tell the identity and the characteristic of the haircut. You have to tell the incident that took place.
You have to tell which characters NASA used for promoting greater flight safety awareness. Question number 12, you have to tell the pioneering works that these characters were talking about. Let's move on. 13. You have to fill in the blanks. Identify the metrics used, the metric used. 14, you have to tell the purposes the Hasselblad camera were used and what agents used them. Number 15, star mark question. You have to tell how this person's.
1 minute.
Yeah. Someone's telling something?
No, it is finished. Go on.
Okay. You have to tell how it got fatal and who this person was. Number 16. You have to identify the item that the people in Japan use to connect with the relatives who could not cuddle their newborns. Number 17. You have to identify the town and the story where this incident took place.
Could you go to 16?
Can we, Bharat? Okay.
We can't stay for too long. Just make sure you read it very quickly.
5 seconds. That's good. We need to go to question 18. Yeah. You have to identify the bakery and the band they took inspiration from. Question number 19. You have to fill in the blanks about this pest control agency. And the last question, it's a star mark question. You have to tell what question or phrase was the study referring to in here.
We'll keep the form open for 60 more seconds. After that, we can go to the answers. For 30 more seconds.
Should you just check if you're getting like the number of responses you're getting also? I hope everyone has submitted. Is there anyone left to submit? We'll be closing the form in like 10-15 seconds more.
Yeah, I think we can close the. Shruti, you can close the form now. The last call, guys, and yep, it's no longer accepting this protest.
Have you closed the form, Suki?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So I think we can move ahead to the answers. Right, Ankit?
So, yeah, sure. Let's go to the answer. So, guys, you can shout the answer.
So this company with their power of personalization.
Netflix.
Yes, this is Netflix.
And the health monitoring or something like that. I don't quite remember the name. The monitoring system, I guess.
No. Anyone else?
Not the monitoring system.
The Bandersnatch episode they did.
Interactive,
Black
interactive
Mirror.
TV
Exactly.
shows. Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Interactive featured by Netflix.
Okay. Here's the question: if I've mentioned the company right and I've not given the feature, will I be given?
You'll get part points.
Thank you. Just please.
We can move on to the
Is it World War?
Quarantine.
Is it World War?
Quarantine.
World War One.
plastic surgery in World War One. That's right.
Elton John. Freddie Mercury. Oh,
Elton John.
Elton John.
Alright.
Storage
Jerry Can?
function. Yes,
Jerry-
this is jerry can.
Oh,
Right.
Russian,
Stalin
Soviet,
sympathizers.
Russian Revolution.
the Soviet
And what was the
prisoners, I
reason?
think.
No,
They would
Russian
be shot at.
criminals, they wouldn't be shot at, yeah, because they have photos of Lenin and Stalin.
That's correct.
That is right.
I have not written prisoners, I have written criminals with that work. And I've given the funder.
Yeah, that would work.
Thank you.
You can go to the next one. Theme.
Godfather soundtrack.
That is right. Because Conan O'Brien, it has to be the Godfather.
Xbox 360
Xbox
controllers.
controller.
Xbox controller.
This is Xbox.
This is
She's
robot or
an
something.
AI generated influencer.
She is a
Augmented
she is a
Instagram
virtual
handle.
character.
Robot
Created
character.
character.
Virtual character.
She is a virtual influencer, CGI character.
This is Pandits. They have this. Samurai.
Priests.
Samurai is the
This
character.
is Samurai.
So like this is the World Cup, 83 World Cup journalist. So like he said ki India won't win the World Cup, and India went on to win the World Cup. So he was eating his own article which he wrote with a glass of wine.
Yes, that will
That
get
is
you points.
exact.
This was David Frith, who was the journalist mentioned. We don't need the name of the journalist, just the funda would get you
Incident.
points.
Snoopy
And Charlie.
and Charlie Brown.
Snoopy and Charlie Brown is the correct answer.
These were the first motion picture ever made.
So could you like tell what's the name? Like any description of that?
Yes, it's a picture of a black man running on the horse.
Okay, something.
A black man on the horse. Yes, yes.
Horse in motion, bridge.
Yes, horse. I've written that black man on a horse, first motion picture.
All right, all right. Give me points.
Are they homicides?
This is Pan Gutka Spit.
Gutka
This
spit.
is
Pan Gutka
Pan
Spit.
Spit. Yes. Pan Spit would give you points.
Like Gutka will work, right?
Yeah, anything with, along those lines should work. Like if you have the meaning correct.
NASA.
NASA and
And the moon
shooting
landing.
in the
Apollo mission picture.
Apollo.
This is JFK, John F. Kennedy.
Yeah, and
How did
And,
it affect?
And when the first shot was taken, he couldn't dodge for the second shot because that was very tight to move.
that's the
That is
correct
the
answer.
correct answer.
So the first shot was not the fatal shot. It was the second bullet that killed him. So anything that mentions that will get you points.
Rice bags. Rice bags.
What's the answer?
This is correct. It is rice bags of the same weight as their newborn kids. So,
A Pied Piper. Pied Piper.
Hamlin and
Hamlin.
Hamlin.
Pied Piper.
this is the Pied Piper family.
This is Swedish House Mafia. And there's I mean the shop is
And what
Swedish
is
House
the-
Mafia.
That's correct. It's Swedish House Mafia and Swedish House Mafia. Question number 19.
Exterminator.
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters is the right answer.
Oh, I've written Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
Will I get like part points?
Oh, we'll discuss on that.
Okay.
We'll consider.
So like this
And
is
this is the
too
final
many
question.
Too many cooks spoil the broth.
That's correct. This is too many cooks spoil the broth. Or how many cooks does it take to spoil the broth? Both will get you points. So that was the prelims of the Gen quiz, guys. We'll be going through the responses and listing out the names of finalists. We'll inform you through the WhatsApp group. Meanwhile, we have the BizTech filler quiz.